This is VOA News. In Washington, I'm Jeff Custer. The International Court of Justice opened hearings Thursday in a case in which South Africa accuses Israel of subjecting Palestinians to genocidal acts and demands an emergency suspension of Israel's military campaign in Gaza. Speaking outside the court in The Hague, South African Justice Minister Ronald Lamola outlined their case for genocide in Gaza and explained why South Africa felt compelled to bring it.
The commitment to justice and bring an end to the humanitarian atrocities in Palestine resonate deeply with the collective consciousness of the global community. The scale of these actions is reminiscent of the Rwandan genocide 30 years ago. We are here on behalf of South Africa and the global community to seek justice for the victims, particularly children, women, and the elderly.
Israel has dismissed South Africa's claims as baseless. The court is expected to rule on possible emergency measures it could take regarding fighting in Gaza later this month. It is expected to take years to settle the genocide allegations. A tanker in the Gulf of Oman has been boarded by men in military uniforms in an apparent seizure in Middle Eastern waters. Associated Press correspondent Karen Chalmers reports.
An oil tanker has been boarded in the Gulf of Oman by unauthorized men in military uniforms, according to an advisory group run by the British military and a private security firm. Although details remain unclear, suspicion immediately fell on Iran, as the ship was once known as the Suez Rajan. The Suez Rajan had been involved in a years-long dispute that ultimately saw the U.S. Justice Department seize 1 million barrels of Iranian crude oil on it. I'm Karen Chalmers.
Israel's military Thursday carried out air and ground attacks in central and southern Gaza Strip, while the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry said Israeli attacks overnight killed dozens of people. For more on this and other stories we're covering today, see our website, voanews.com. This is VOA News. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky Thursday said he has ruled out a ceasefire in his country's war with Russia. VOA's Richard Green reports.
During a visit to Estonia Thursday, President Zelensky said Russian forces would use the pause to rearm and regroup before overwhelming Ukrainian troops. Limited ceasefires have occasionally been proposed since Moscow launched its full-scale invasion in February 2022, but have never taken hold. Both sides are looking to rebuild their munitions after nearly 2 years of fighting and the likely prospect of a drawn-out conflict. Richard Green, VOA News.
Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives Wednesday launched impeachment proceedings against U.S. President Joe Biden's top immigration official, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. VOA's congressional correspondent Catherine Gibson reports.
Congressman Mark Green is the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee.
Secretary Mayorkas has repeatedly lied to the American people and to the United States Congress. Our investigation uncovered more than 100 instances where Secretary Mayorkas misled the public.
The rare effort to impeach an administration official drew condemnation from Democratic lawmakers who said Mayorkas cannot face removal from office for carrying out policies. Earlier this week, Mayorkas defended his actions, saying the situation at the U.S. border with Mexico is part of an unprecedented level of migration throughout the Western Hemisphere.
We now need Congress to do their part and act. Our immigration system is outdated and broken and has been in need of reform for literally decades.
Catherine Gibson, VOA News.
Officials in Japan report as of Thursday the 7.6 magnitude earthquake that hit the western coast of Japan Thursday has killed 213 people. 8 of those deaths were at evacuation centers where rescued people died from injuries and sickness. Former U.S. President Donald Trump's civil fraud trial in New York is set to conclude with closing arguments Thursday. AP correspondent Donna Warder reports.
The former president, who's the leading Republican contender in the 2024 presidential nomination, wanted to deliver his own closing remarks in the courtroom today. The judge at first was keen on the idea, warning that Trump may not deliver a campaign speech or impugn him, his adversaries, and court staff. But the judge nixed that plan. Trump is accused of exaggerating his wealth on financial statements he provided to banks, insurance companies, and others. New York Attorney General Letitia James wants the judge to impose $370 million in penalties. Trump says he did nothing wrong, didn't lie about his fortune, and he's the victim of political persecution. I'm Donna Warder.
In Washington, I'm Jeff Custer. This is VOA News.